We're here today in the interest of Uretzi Samantha Navaro on a permanency review.
Sam seems to be doing well overall. This week, I think she's having a rough week. I went to see her Monday, and she was very upset and didn't want to meet with me. So I spoke with the house parents, and they said that they had to discharge another girl in the home, and Sam took that really hard. And she was also having a conflict with a girl at school. And so she was just really emotional that day when I went to see her. I did let her know I would try to go back out sometime later this month to do another check-in with her. She also wanted me to let Kossa know. After that visit, I did speak to Melissa Newman, the volunteer for Kossa, and let her know about those things as well. On September 3rd, she had a psychiatric medical review, and Sam was able to communicate feeling an increase in anxiety, and the house parent staff that was with her concurred with the psychiatrist that that was true. So he increased her boost bar to twice a day, and it's 10 milligrams. And then on September 1st, she had an in-person visit with Jessica Maldonado and her daughter, and it was supervised by Kossa. And Kossa reported the visit went well. They engaged well with each other. Sam was super excited to get to see them. House parents said Sam's attitude was, she was just over the moon to see them. So that went well. We are setting up virtual visits for the Maldonado family and Sam through St. Francis, and a family support worker is trying to get into contact with them to schedule those weekly for them. And I have also completed the ICPC request for the Maldonado family, and it was submitted to the state this morning.
Which state?
New Mexico, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Where in New Mexico do they live?
Clovis.
Okay. So close, yet so far away.
Yeah.
When it comes to an ICPC. Ms. Maldonado, I'm sure they've told you that these things can take quite a while. So I think best we can do at this point is just continue to foster this relationship between you and Sam, and use that time, the best that we can use it, because we could be talking 6 months pretty easily.
Yes, ma'am, I'm aware.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kincaid.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would kind of agree with Ms. Novak. When I talked with Sam, she was really upset. I think that the changes in the home obviously are causing her some consternation. She also had some concerns about, returning to school and not getting along with some of her peers. I talked with Monica about some of the specific issues that Sam brought to my attention. So hopefully we can work on making some progress with that. With her medications, she says that she can't tell if they're improving or not. She's not happy with them, but sometimes these things take time to settle in. I know that she just recently had a medication review, but I don't know if it's because she was so upset when I talked with her, but she said she wanted another medication review. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention as well. She does want to continue to have visits with Miss Maldonado. And she expressed to me very adamantly that she wants to be out of the children's home. And I explained to her that we're, trying to work toward that without getting too specific at this stage. In addition to that, I expressed to her she has my phone number. Anytime she's upset, she can always give me a call. I told her she has a lot of support through Kossa. And some of the concerns that she had, I think she was just upset, and I don't know if she doesn't want to go into detail or if she's just mad and doesn't want to talk sometimes. But I reiterated to her that Kossa and I are both there for her if there's anything she needs.
Okay, well, at 13, patience is not generally, a long suit.
No, it's not.
What I really don't want to have happen is for her to do something that maybe blows the current placement before we can get the ICPC back. Let me just ask, has anyone sort of talked to Sam about the time frame of this, and that, that this is gonna probably take a while and she needs to, let's just maintain where we're at until
Judge,
we
we
cross the
had a
finish line?
meeting with all parties and we decided to just kind of not let her know anything about the ICPC home study. We wanted to make sure it was a for sure thing and then let her know. Just because, sometimes she has some episodes that just a little roller coaster, and obviously with stress with work, with school, and so we kind of want to wait until it's kind of confirmed and then let her know what we're gonna do.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it's inevitable, the more contact she has with Ms. Maldonado and her family, that, we're going to start getting those questions from her, you know, and likely she's going to start saying, well, that's where she wants to go and what she wants to do. And, why can't she do that? And so, I'm fine with radio silence for a little while, but I think it's inevitable that we're going to have to talk to her about it.
And Your Honor, yes, whenever I spoke with her, I did explain to her, like, we're gonna try to continue to make efforts to have more and more contact that we can have, just to try to give her some assurances.
Yeah. Okay.
If I can say something,
Sure.
I'm hoping that the virtual visits, being able to have virtual visits with her more often will help her. But we kind of had agreed at first, kind of like what Monica has said. I just don't want to get her hopes up if something doesn't work out. I don't see why it wouldn't. And just because of the behavior that she, her being upset here lately. I mean, if that is something that maybe we have to reconsider and maybe let her know we're working towards this to kind of motivate her to continue to do well, because I wouldn't want her to jeopardize it. And like you said, jeopardize the placement where it delays things even more for us. So like I said, I'm okay with, if they let her know, maybe we're working towards this and then she sees that as a motivation to try to do better. I don't know. Like I said, I'm okay with whatever everybody else thinks. I just want to do what's best for her in the long run.
Well, and I agree with everything that you've said, and that's, and I think at a point that's the tactic we may, really need to take. I mean, right now where she's placed, it's a reasonable distance that we can get you guys together for some
Right.
in-person visitation. If something happens and we blow this placement, God, she could end up in Houston.
Right. Right.
So, we're walking a tightrope a little bit. I don't know. I don't have a problem with letting it get, maybe 30 days down the road, or things kind of are leveling out or doing better. But I think, as more visits occur, I think these questions are going to start coming, or
Right.
these feelings are going to start coming. And I just think that we're going to need to be prepared to, I think, to have that discussion with her.
Okay, I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't want to I don't want her to be disappointed or let down either. But, if presumably Ms. Maldonado, we've already collected a lot of information on you, and your situation and your home and family and all that. And so, generally speaking, we have somewhat of an idea of whether these things are going to go through or not.
Okay.
Ms. Nowak, do you see anything that you think is, a real cause for concern?
I don't at this time, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Ms. Maldonado, that doesn't, just because, your home may check out great and all of that, and, we're sort of in this period where we need to see how she does with you and how
Right.
you guys do with her. It's not just as simple as getting an approved ICPC. We need to make sure it's a good fit, and that you guys are just, I don't know what.
Right.
the
You know, like
legislature
the
did, it's
proper
a big thing.
placement for her. And like I said, and we've always been very close. You know, there's several of us sisters and stuff, and Sam's probably been the closest to me and my family, like my daughters. But you know, this has probably been the longest that we've been separated from her. Prior to her going into the system, she was, you know, she's always been very close with us. Besides, like I said, this time or the time that Paul moved to Texas, which they were further away. Like I said, I know the connection's there. But like I said, at the end of the day, I want to do what's best for her. And like I said, I'm trying to do everything it's out that I need to do on my end to where if I'm the proper placement for her, then I would love to have her with me.
Okay, well, I certainly think we all would love that to be the goal. So, okay. All right then, Kossa, anything else?
I would like to say, I think this whole wanting to get out of the home that she's in right now is reasonable, but as far as trying to move on that, this is something she kind of goes through every couple of months. And I know this is a time everybody kind of reached out to her. I promise it'll probably be better in a week or two. And I know she was kind of refusing to talk to a lot of people, but she's been texting me a lot before she goes to bed, and kind of tells me a lot of the things that's going on. And I will tell you, she had, like, what she figured was her best friend at school, is struggling with some suicidal stuff right now, and she tried to talk to her friend about that, and her friend got angry with her and is refusing to speak with her, because she got over dramatic about not wanting her to commit suicide. So she's got a lot that she's dealing with that, and I think it's just kind of coming out everywhere. So at least she's talking about it. She is, you know, wanting to go to the therapist about that stuff too, and trying to calm that down a little bit. And just knowing, and she has talked about Jessica wanting to live with her a lot. And I have not said that that's, you know, exactly what we're trying to do. I just told her, I said, well, let's just keep doing these visits and let's see how good it's going. And then, you know, whenever we tell everybody, you know, that can move forward that way. So she is holding on to that a little bit. She's like, okay. So I do have something to look forward to because I'm so tired of being here. And she is the youngest and the smallest in the home. So that's kind of hard on her to begin with. And one of the girls that kind of clashes with the entire house was put into her room. And she did really well with that. I was a little surprised at that because they were arguing anytime they were in the vicinity of each other. And once they went into the room together, it got a lot better. They started getting along better. So I don't have concerns about that home. I think she's just having a rough time with school and everything else right now. So she's just stressing, and I think it's going to calm down. I plan on seeing her this afternoon again too, to see, because she said she's ready to talk in person instead of just texting every day. But she is keeping communication and she's dealing with it in her own way. It's just going a little slower than what she was hoping.
Yeah. Well, like I said, at 13, patience is not typically a strong suit. So, okay, well, I think we just, you know, if we start getting any alarms going off that we're having incidences or things that might jeopardize placement, you know, then I think it's worth taking maybe a different approach. But I'm okay with sort of just, you know, say let's just see how this works for a while. So all right, then I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I will continue her current placement. And I'll see everybody back. We've got our next review isn't till February. We'll leave it set February 11th, 2026 on a 9 o'clock docket. But you know, everybody knows, and Ms. Rich, just really important for you to know since you're kind of new to us. If we've got something that comes up and we need to get together, that's just one phone call to my office and we'll get it set. So, you know, we can always make time to get together to do a hearing if we need something sooner than 6 months.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much. And I'll see you for sure back in February. But if anything changes, just let us know.
Judge, I was gonna ask just briefly, if we get the ICPC back and it's approved, would you want us to call another hearing to do a kind of a transition, or if we're all in agreement, would you be okay with us taking those steps?
Ms. Kincaid, anytime you guys are all in agreement, it would be rare that I would disagree with that. So no, I'm very anxious to see this happen. I hope it does happen. And I think it's the best possible solution for Sam moving into her teenage years and no, if everybody agrees we're ready to make the move, then let's make it.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Appreciate y'all. Thanks. In the interest of Riley and Davis, we are here for a permanency review hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom.
Things have gone really, really well in this case. The parent, Nikki Sindelar, or Leah Sindelar, has tested negative on UA and hair follicle as recently as 8/29. In fact, hasn't tested positive since March. So she's doing really well, has a good job. She has housing, has an apartment with a room ready for Riley for reunification. And so she's done everything that I've asked her to do. Riley has done very well in her placement and her kinship placement. But both Riley and her aunt that she is placed with have both said, though, that she misses mom and that, that we need to move toward reunification. So our plan is to do an unsupervised visit with mom later this month over a weekend. And then in October, Riley will be out of school for a week. And so we would have another unsupervised visit at that time.
Okay, great. Because that was my question based on reading the report. Okay, Miss and Mr. Kabbalah has not completed or participated in anything. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. All right. Is mom actually finished with all of her services?
The only thing she has ongoing, Judge, is counseling, but
Okay.
she has completed several of those and continues to do that, and that's going well.
Okay. All right, sounds great. Okay, Ms. McDaniel?
I don't have any questions, Your Honor. The only thing that we were curious about my client was Riley has told her that she would like some more FaceTime visits during the week. If that could be arranged, we would be very glad for that. Obviously, with the unsupervised, I think that would just be helpful as well.
Okay, Mr. Koval, any problem with that?
No, Judge, and I spoke with Ms. Sindelar about that this morning. What they've been doing is Zoom calls on Fridays and then just phone calls the rest of the week. So I authorized them to take some of those nightly phone calls and turn them into extra Zoom calls.
Okay, so we're kind of already doing that.
Well, we've been doing one Zoom call and then just regular phone calls. So, it's okay for them to make some of those phone calls into Zoom calls as well and just have several Zoom calls a week.
Okay, all right, Ms. McDaniel, does that address the concern?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, all right, I have no problem with that. I think we're at the point where that's absolutely appropriate. All right, Mr. Barfield, anything today?
No, Your Honor. If somebody wants to send me it may have already been done, send me a voluntary relinquishment form, then I think that's the direction that I would try to go at this point based upon my client's interaction or non-interaction with everything. I can try to get that accomplished. And but I don't see him coming forward. That's just the honest truth.
Quick question, because I don't recall off the top of my head. Do we have prior orders in the case? I mean, so was he under a child support order?
I
Yes, Your
believe
Honor.
so.
Well, if it looks like reunification is going to happen, I don't know, Mr. Barfield, whether termination is what I'm going to want to do.
I understand why. That's just, and I was making my report based upon participation in the case period. And so that I understand the court's intent there.
Yeah. Okay. Would this essentially, because I don't have any of that in front of me, but did mom had primary under the prior order? So we would just
Yes.
probably be reverting back to that order and just dismissing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, probably I'm going to leave him on the hook, Mr. Barfield.
I could only try, Judge.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Ms. Riley.
So Judge, I talked to Riley. She is doing great with her mom. I mean, I'm sorry, did you want my report or did you just want to know if I have questions? Sorry.
No.
So Riley is doing great as usual. She loves, obviously her family and her placement, loves them very much, loves Lee, but is looking forward to getting back with her mom. She, is a super bright girl, and she definitely, at the beginning of the case, she just wanted to go back to mom no matter what. But now she actually can speak to the fact that she sees very different changes in mom, that mom is different as a person. And she asked me to just, say that she would love to go back to her mom as soon as you will let her, because she thinks everything will be great. Because she thinks that her mom will not drink or do drugs, because she knows that will make mom lose her, and that she doesn't think that'll happen anymore. And they've been talking, they've been interacting, and even, and I don't want to speak for placement, but placement is thrilled with how mom's doing. So it's really, a really good situation, I think.
Okay. All right. It's how we want all of our cases to go. Okay, Kossa.
There. Kossa is very, very pleased with the placement, very pleased with the progress that mom has done. My one concern is I would like some information on how counseling is going with Riley, because I haven't heard an update on to whether that has even started.
And that's correct. I don't think it has, Judge. When I talked to Riley, I don't think Riley's seeing anyone, but you did ask that be expedited, I think, on the last court date.
Okay, is she seeing, for individual counseling, or are we just talking about maybe starting some family counseling between her and mom?
Well, individual counseling is what we've done so far, and there has been a counselor assigned, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Riley has attended at least one of those counseling sessions. We don't currently have anything going with family counseling, but we can certainly do that.
We may not need it, but once she goes home, Miss Sindelar, once she goes home, there's always that honeymoon period, and where everything's just peachy and great, and and then you start getting into the routine of things, and just the inevitable, sometimes bumps in the road. And since we would be monitoring for a while, it may be that at that point we may want to look at some family counseling. I'm not just dead set on having y'all do that if it's just not necessary. So that may be something we just don't know till she gets home. But I guess we just continue with her, seeing if we've got it lined up now with her going to a counselor. That may just help prepare her for the transition that's coming. So it's it's kind of late in the game that we got it started. I don't know what the problem was, if it was with a provider or what the situation was, but anyway, if it's lined up now, then I guess we move forward with it.
And I'll provide Kossa and the attorney ad litem with the information about the counselor that she's seeing.
Okay. And then obviously if we get any progress notes or therapy notes, that'd be appropriate for them to have that.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Marnell, anything additional?
No, everything's great.
Okay. All right. Okay, sounds like everything's going the way we want it to go. So, Ms. Navaro, thank you so much for your hard work. And, I think you can see the light at the end of the tunnel here. Hopefully this will happen, here over the next, Mr. Cole, what are you thinking? Next 30, 45 days?
I think assuming that these unsupervised visits this month and next month go well, then yes, ma'am, we can certainly do that over the next couple of months.
Okay.
There's the school situation, but with her being fourth grade, I don't think it would be a deal breaker really to have her move even mid-semester, but it would also be an option to wait until the holidays and do it at that time.
Okay, I'm not in favor of that. I'll just tell you right now. I think it's too far off. I think mom's done really, really well. And I kind of would rather see this sooner rather than later, so that she's got time to adjust for the last part of the semester.
Yes, Judge.
So, I'm not seeing the need for a delay to the end of the semester. So I think we look at trying to make it happen over the next 30 to 45 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody have any real heartburn with that? Okay. All right then, I'll continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I will continue the child's current placement, and we'll work towards reunification over the next 30 to 45 days. Obviously, mom is in compliance with her service plan. Father is not. I would find there would be a continuing danger to return the child home just today, but we are definitely on the right path with mom. Obviously, it would be a danger to return the child to the father at this time. I will see you all back December 10th. That's our final hearing date of 2025. That's on a 9 o'clock docket. That's the other reason, Mr. Cole, I really don't want to delay to the end of the school semester. That would require us to go into an extension in the case, and I just don't think we need to do that in this case. So I would like very much to get her home so we can monitor for a while, and then hopefully we're ready to make a final disposition in December.
Understood.
Okay.
Judge, did you say November 10th?
December 10th.
December 10th. Okay. Thank you, Judge.
You bet. Okay, I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
In the interest of Moses Garcia, we're here today on an extended foster care review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom.
This young man's been doing well. He has a lot of medical issues and is still in a primary medical needs foster home.
Bill, I'm sorry, Heather's here.
She is here. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
I can see her. I guess you can't see her.
Oh, I can't see her. I apologize, Your Honor.
Nope, no problem. I'm the one that called on you, so my apologies. Ms. Eubanks?
Yes, ma'am. Moses is still in the same placement that he's been in for quite some time. He is seen monthly by a local permanency specialist. I will have the honor to go out to meet him this month. This will be the first time. I plan on going out on the 22nd. I speak to his placement every month. They say that he's doing fine. He's steady. He does still receive nursing care every day. And he's just still kind of trucking along. I do request every month from the state of Texas representative for the Social Security an update. I don't know if it's going to take me off screen, but I'm going to jump over to my email and read it to you if that's okay.
Sure.
I asked for an update from Mr. Badke, who is our liaison, I guess. And he says, I spoke with Social Security today. This was last night. And all they can provide is that the child's case is still with DDS. As far as how long it is, however, as long as DDS doctors take to rule whether or not he is disabled. There is no specific time frame that any of them can provide, as they have thousands of cases that are ahead of him going on. And that's our update. But I do check in every single month to see if there's anything they need from us to help move that process along, or if there's anything we can do to aid them. But as of right now, Moses is still doing well in his placement. He's cared for, he is loved, and I can't wait to meet him.
Okay. I think this is just a question of we're in a long line. I can't imagine that we're going to cross a bridge where he's going to be denied. I mean, he's clearly, he clearly has disabilities. He clearly, is not going to be independent or capable of, complete independence or self-care. So I think we're just in a long line. Okay. All right, Mr. Shaw, anything to add today?
No, Your Honor, this is just going to be a lifetime situation. And if anybody is disabled, this young man is disabled.
Yeah. Okay. It's just, like I said, it's just like Baskin and Robbins. It's just waiting for our number to come up. All right, then. We will continue the department, or excuse me, we'll continue the extended jurisdiction of a young adult and continue his placement. And we will have our next review hearing February 11th of 2026 on a 9 o'clock docket. I've had Moses for so long, it's just hard for me not to think of him as a child anymore. It's hard for me to move those words over to young adult. Okay, I appreciate y'all. I'll see you back in February.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you,
Honor.
Mr. Eubanks. In the interest of Logan Allen Dodson, we're here on a status hearing. The managing conservator, who is grandmother Jacqueline Sexton, appears to be present as well.
Logan is still placed with the Beals. They have an approved home study now, and they are almost done with their licensing. He has been doing okay. If they want to give an update on his behavior, I would greatly appreciate it, and the progress in their home.
Yes, ma'am. We don't have any problems with Logan's behavior. He does not have any outbursts. We have no physical or verbal problems with him. He is doing really well. He's almost got straight A's in school. Attendance is wonderful. We have no problems with Logan at all.
Great. And I believe he's also attending individual counseling with Richard Gatlin.
That is correct. Bi-weekly.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great to hear. Almost straight A's.
Yes.
That's great. All right. Have we had any contact, Ms. Miller, with the mother or father?
My caseworker, before she went on maternity leave, was able to talk to Miss Sexton. As far as Mr. Dodson and Miss Allen, we have not been able to reach Miss Allen. We're going to request a courtesy worker to go down and make attempts in her last known area. And then we'll be sending our monthly letters to Mr. Dodson. We'll also request a courtesy worker so that we can document some of the TDCJs. They allow us to visit, some don't. So we'll document whatever comes back from that particular unit.
All right. Okay. All right. Any report with respect to Ms. Sexton?
Yes, Miss Sexton has been engaged with us. She attended the family group conference where we talked about her service plan. On her service plan, we were asking that she do sign a release of information as requested to maintain employment. She has told us she works at Allsups right now. To maintain housing. She lives in a home in Sudan, and the caseworker was able to go. To participate in individual counseling, she has been attending counseling with Dr. Wilbanks. To participate in parenting classes, which she did get a certificate completion, but she has decided to continue on with Miss Debbie Guerrero. To complete a psychological, we're just waiting on Stonebridge to set that up. And then, of course, there's still no visits at this time per the request of the child.
Okay. All right then, Mr. Barfield.
I have nothing new to report. We've had scant contact with our client. We are continuing to effort to get the client to participate, but at this point we've been unsuccessful.
All right, sir. Mr. Shaw?
Judge, I have not received any response to the correspondence that I've sent to my client yet.
Okay. Ms. Sexton, is there anything that you want to discuss today?
The only thing I was wanting to do is find out how Logan is doing physically, because I haven't seen or heard from him. I'm in the process of getting ready to go and do eye surgery before I completely go blind.
Okay, all reports are that I think he's doing quite well.
Because he was almost a straight A student here when I had him, and he also had great attendance record when I had him.
Okay, well, sounds like he's maintaining that. Sounds like everything's going very well.
I'm glad to know that he's maintaining his good schoolwork and his attendance.
Okay, sounds like he is.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. Then Miss Ebling?
Your Honor, I have no concerns with Logan or his placement. I think things are going very well.
Okay, and Kossa?
No concerns, Judge. Placement's wonderful.
Okay. All right then. Okay. Anything that Logan wants to talk about?
James, what's on my mind? We talked about this. You see what? That's good, so we can see.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Good. All right, don't be nervous. We're all friends here. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Well, it sounds like you're doing great. You liking school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Making some friends?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Anything you want to talk to me about today or any of these other folks?
I do not want to talk to my grandma or see her.
Okay. And I'll continue to respect those wishes, Logan. So, you're old enough to have a pretty big say in that. So, all I ask is you keep an open mind and just continue to do well in school and just be a good kid.
Yes.
Okay. All right. If you have any concerns, you know who you can contact. You can always call Ms. Ebling or you can call Ms. Olivas.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And you certainly can always contact and talk to me too, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Well, I think everything sounds like it's going really well right now, so I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to continue Logan's current placement. Excuse me, Ms. Sexton, I'm going to order your service plan as an order of the court. It does sound like you've gotten started on those things, and that's great. You know, the services are important, but I think also this is a situation where we've got to explore and look at the child's wishes and, you know, decide whether or not that this is going to be a long-term situation for him. I know you've got some health issues, and I think you need to just start kind of evaluating maybe what's best for you and what's best for Logan. So we've got time to do that. But you know, that conversation is probably going to come around here at some point in time. So anyway, I'm just going to keep everything the way it is right now. Find that there would be a continuing danger to return the child back to sole managing conservator at this time. I do find she's in compliance with her service plan. And I'll see everybody back for our initial permanency hearing, which will be January 14th of 2026. And that will be on a 9 o'clock docket. So, Ms. Rich, if you believe that the case might be ready to mediate sometime even before that, please let my office know and we'll get a mediator appointed.
Okay.
And you know, we could start looking at a final resolution maybe.
Yes.
Ms. Miller, let me just ask a question. Is placement willing to be long-term?
Yes, ma'am. They are very motivated. Like I said, they're almost done with their licensing process, and are working really hard to get that done and complete. They would like to, my understanding is they want to move this as fast as possible if that's an option.
Okay. Well, January 14th is quite a ways off. Why don't we just set that as a final in this case?
Yes, ma'am. That'd be great.
And then I'm going to say y'all attend mediation if you need to, you know, no later than, because of the holiday and everything, let's say no later than December 15th. That gives everybody quite a bit of time to try to get something scheduled.
Judge Baker,
Yes.
I do want to make the court known that Chad and I do plan, if with the foster trainings and everything, once they get done, we are planning on filing for adoption of Logan.
Okay. And you know that you can't technically, you know, do some of
Right.
the things until he's eligible, but
Yes, ma'am. But that is our long-term plan.
okay. I appreciate it. Okay, well, we're just gonna set that as our final, January 14th, 2026 on a 9 o'clock docket. We'll mediate before December 15th of 2025. And you know, if y'all can get into mediation, if you can make it happen sooner, that's fine by me. We can always move that final hearing up if we have everything resolved.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay,
Your Honor, is the court going to order a mediator?
I will.
Okay.
Miss Katie will, she can probably tell us who's next on the list right now, but she'll send that out too.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Miss Katie, do you know who's up next? Earl Griffin, she says. So I'm confident y'all will probably be doing that by Zoom just because everybody's so spread out. So, but Mr. Griffin will be your mediator, and he's a good one. All our mediators are good ones. All right, then, I will see y'all back in January unless we're ready to roll on this sooner than that. And which would, would be great if we've got something worked out. So, anyway, we'll work towards that direction. Okay, Logan, keep up the good work in school, my friend. All right. Okay, thank you all so much. I will see you then, and that will conclude our Bailey County docket for the morning. So I appreciate everybody, and y'all have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, ma'am.